Okay, guys, welcome back to another fanfiction idea. I thought this one would be a little more interesting because this isn't really a crossover. It's more of like a. It's an Avatar story, and as you can tell from the title, Avatar of the Undead. So, this is more inspired by like stuff like Deceased and whatnot, but it's not a zombie apocalypse in the world of Avatar The Last Airbender. What it is a vampire apocalypse. Yeah, we get so many zombie apocalypses, you don't get a lot of vampire. So, in this, and you're probably wondering, well, how do vampires work in the world of Avatar and whatnot? So, basically, what this is this in this story, vampires are a lot different. Like, vampires are very different. Basically, what it was that there was an ancient tribe of waterbenders who the Sun people, the original firebenders, were at war with ages ago. And basically what had happened was these versions of this ancient water tribe was like a deviant race from the original water tribe. Like, these guys were like more cannibal. They were cannibalistic. They ate people, and they were the original bloodbenders. They were the original bloodbenders, and they could actually like pull blood out of people to drink it. And essentially, they worshipped this dark bat spirit, like this evil bat spirit that lived in the north. And the more they worshipped this being, and the more they fed off blood and flesh, the more like vampiric they became. And more mindless and more animalistic. Eventually, an avatar by the name of a past avatar, Yang Chen, eventually put a stop to their bullshit and sealed them away. Like, she basically buried them in snow and ice thinking she killed them all, when really, she put them more in hibernation. So now we have come, and this was the Northern Water Tribe. So yeah, Northern Water Tribe is out, like, exploring. And like, because this is like after the show. This is like after the show, and we're in that huge time gap, 70-year time gap. And while they're expanding the Northern Water Tribe, they discover like an ice hole, fall in, and these waterbenders find like the hibernating bloodbenders. You know, these vampires. They wake them up, and they bite and infect them. And as they escape, they're out flying out to, you know, spread their disease. So the Avatar, so of course Avatar Aang and the crew show up at the Northern Water Tribe when they're actually on their way to a festival. They're on their way to a Northern Water Tribe festival, and when they get there, it's a mess. It's a bloody, bloody mess. And also, if you're wondering what the vampires are like in this storyline, the vampires of this universe, like I said, they are bloodbenders, but they're kind of like a more animal version of the vampires you see in 30 Days of Night. They also look more like Orlockian, where they're like, obviously I'm referring to Count Orlok from Nosferatu, where they have like elongated ears, like pointed ears and fangs. They just look like their fingers are like almost claw-like. They're very more animal than people. And they actually can like transform into like pseudo bat creatures. So yeah, when they show up at the Northern Water Tribe, some survivors are like, "You gotta get out of here! Like, you gotta get out of here! We can't hold them off." Vampires come in, bite Aang, like one of them bites Aang. Yeah, like I said, this was inspired by Deceased, so we do get some character deaths in this story. And essentially what happens is that Aang gets bit, and he does turn. But here's the thing, is that when he turns, his power goes out of control, and he becomes like ravenous and whatnot, and actually bites and consumes Sokka's blood, turns him. Toph's in the Earth Kingdom training her, you know, her metal bending academy. So Katara gets the fuck out of Dodge with Appa, while poor Momo gets ripped in half and eaten by the newly empowered Aang, who's hungry out of his mind and now has like a horde of vampires who are looking to feed. However, they can't stand the daylight. Like I said, they do have the weakness of, you know, the sun. So, yeah. So Katara hauls ass to the Fire Nation and tells Zuko, we got a problem. Aang just became this horrible monster, turned my brother into one, and now I don't know what to do. We gotta stop them. So Zuko's like, I think I've heard stories of this, so he goes and researches, like, yeah, the Sun people were at war with these deviant race of waterbenders, who became bloodbenders and whatnot, and that's why it's so forbidden. Like, that's why it's such a forbidden tactic, because it's like a deviant kind of thing, and Katara's like, oh god, I could turn into one of these things. Hence why it freaks her out to use bloodbending all the time. So of course they get Toph here, so now the remaining Team Avatar we have on our side is Katara, Zuko, Toph, Mei, Ty Lee, Suki. So Suki's there, and she finds out that Sokka got turned, and it just breaks her heart. So now the remnants of Team Avatar have to, like, save these people and stop this infection before it gets any worse. The problem is that, the major problem is that these things, now that Aang is infected, and how powerful he is, he can move faster than most of them. In fact, he actually, since he's, still a bender, he bends a storm cloud around the vampires and keeps the sun blocked from them. Like, he can now block out the sun as they move out into the world and start feeding. The first place they end up, Earth Kingdom, and they're already tearing ass through the Earth Kingdom while Aang is creating a storm, literally, and along the way they've been feeding on boats and, like, merchant ships and other, like, and just increasing the numbers. So they make it to the Earth Kingdom. That's where Team Avatar goes first, because that's, they don't want them to get the infection to get to Ba Sing Se, because then shit will really hit the fan if they make it to Ba Sing Se. So the new Team Avatar, led by Katara, has to get there, stop, and they realize maybe we can cure them. Like, they think, like, maybe we can cure this kind of infection, and nope, you can't. Like, you cannot control this kind of infection. Like, even Mei says, maybe it's better if we just kill them. Like, she's already thinking, like, plan B, and of course, in the Earth Kingdom is Iroh, so Zuko has some priority to get to Ba Sing Se and, repel this horde of zombies, not zombies, horde of bloodbending vampires, and stop it from taking over the infection. Of course, when they arrive, Ba Sing Se is already, like, under siege, so now they're trying to just save as many as they can, and Zuko finds Iroh already infected. Speaking of people who are also infected, Zuko does kill Iroh he does stab him. So Zuko essentially has to, Zuko just has to save the Earth King and the others to get him out of there. Among people who are also infected, like Longshot and Smellerbee and the other members of Jet's old freedom fighter group, they're all infected. Suki gets infected. The Kyoshi warriors also get infected. It's just bad. Like, it is, like I said, this is very much like Deceased. But yeah. So eventually, like, the Earth Kingdom is falling, and the remainder of Team Avatar, of this new Team Avatar, have to be like, we have to save as many as we can, or the Earth Kingdom's already fallen, so we gotta keep this infection from spreading out even further. Like, we can't let the Southern Water Tribe fall, we can't let, the Fire Nation fall. If those two go, like, it's over. Like, we can't let them spread any further. But the problem is, who can take on Aang? Aang's basically become, like, the leader of these vampires, since of how powerful he is. So you have to, if they can take out Aang, that can at least slow them down, because they won't have, like, cover to continue on moving forward and infecting people like a goddamn plague. Like, that can slow them down at least, until they can find, like, a permanent solution to these vampires. they have so what happens is that Zuko takes on, like, Zuko has to fight Zuko and Katara, Zuko, Katara, and Mai all team up to take on to take on Aang, but Aang is obviously still the fucking Avatar, so he just infects Zuko. Mai is done. Like, Katara and Mai bond over, losing their beloved to this infection. But Mai's resolve is a little more permanent. Like, she's, like, building, like, stakes and whatnot, and anything that can harm them. Like, she's been reading through old texts of, like, what are these things' weaknesses. She's about to go I Am Legend on these assholes. The other thing they're trying to do is, like, Ty Lee and Toph are, and as well as Haru, they find Haru, they get him, and, like, other people, like the Boulder and others, to essentially, like, build, like, refuge, like, get people from the Earth Kingdom and get them to the Southern Water Tribe or the Fire Nation. Like, it's now get out of the Earth Kingdom. So, by the end of it, Katara has to use the bloodbending. She has to use bloodbending to kill Aang. And it just breaks her heart because as she's bloodbending him, all she hears is, like, him screeching and whatnot. It's just breaking her heart. And to spare her the killing blow, Mai just grabs this big ass spear and impales it through Aang's chest and ends him. So now, with no more cover, the cloud cover, the clouds part, and sunlight comes in and kills many of these vampires, but sends the rest scurrying off. So now Ba Sing Se is like a hive for these monsters, and it's quarantined, and much of the Earth Kingdom is quarantined because they did cut a swath of an infection over. So now, like, the Northern Water Tribe and the Earth Kingdom are like a no-go zone, and the rest, what's left of the world, is fleeing to the Fire Nation and Southern Water Tribe. So that's pretty much the story right there. So yeah, like I said, it's very deceased inspired, but instead of a zombie plague, we have a vampire plague. Because, yeah, wouldn't it make sense to have a vampire plague? They have the same things with zombies, just scarier. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of this story? Did you guys like it, hate it? Comment below, let me know. Also, I forgot to mention what Azula's doing all this. That's what you guys were probably wondering the whole time, is like, what is Azula doing the whole time? Well, Azula is kind of the reason why they get so far into the Earth Kingdom. So, Azula, along with her little group of firebenders, she met at the asylum. I mean, I'm taking a little bit of the Smoke and Shadows book. Essentially what they do is that Azula, she hears about these infected, goes there, and she not only, like, helps them get to the Earth Kingdom as, like, a way to just purge it, like Ozai wanted. She also lets herself be infected. Yeah, she really does let herself be infected, and Zuko does find her, like, infected, and she's actually the one who infects Iroh. Like, she's the one who infected Iroh, and Zuko just punches his fist through her stomach and just lights it on fire and burns her from the inside out. He just puts on the finishing move. So, yeah, I totally forgot to mention all that about Azula, so sorry about that. But once again, hope you all enjoyed this. Just comment below, let me know what you guys thought of this. And once again, I'm Mr. Multiverse. See you next time in the Multiverse.